Although it is all inside.
Back there came down to the museum last year during the summer.
That you please mind your seats and remain seated until the train comes to a full and complete stop. Here in Silver Bloom today we have an original 1884 depot open. Inside there's a small gift shop. To the right through that are the restrooms, and as well as that we have a little rail car museum. If you are going to step off, know us that you please return by 1:40. That is 1:40 for on-time departure. Welcome to Silver Bloom, elevation 9,178 feet above sea level. Georgetown in 1877. Shortly after, in 1881, the GV&L was formed under J. Gould to reach as far as Leadville, with the intention to tunnel underneath Cumberland Pass, under the Continental Divide. However, it wasn't until 1884 that its line had reached Silver Bloom, and by that point, the Denver Southwest Pacific accessed Leadville via the Denver Rio Grande. And so this line was only built about 4 miles west of here to Graymont, until eventually being cut back to Silver Bloom. Now our historic end of line, which should take you up to the Mining Town Wharf and to the tip of Mount O'Kellen at excess elevation 13,500 feet. There are also numerous deep switchbacks on that line. It grades at 6.1%, earning that line the nickname is Stairway to Stars, and specified with geared steam locomotive backed by a reef from Shea, wasn't Boyd. Area to the left. I guess you could say these guys pulling up the valuable ores of this area made up the original Colorado Rockies baseball team. But I don't really compare to the current Rockies because they were playing in the minor leagues. Now I realize it's a pretty rocky joke, but I'll warn you, just like this train, the jokes only go downhill from here. Speaking of which, we're now entering onto nearly a 4% descent stacking. This method employs news that no cement nor mortar, but merely gravity and bridge alone hold me.
It's below the water table. He built a pump, an air pressured pump to pump that water out. Now granted, really cool about the second drift, because we know that they went as far back as they could. They went up, they were doing something small like now, the lights have, the reason I gave you guys flashlights, the lights have been known to go out.
Go over that bridge, you want to stay through. Once you see it hit that bridge, you're about 45 seconds.
These guys stay underneath. They'll pick Sundays up.
300 feet long, the same as an average American football field. It's built with a curve of 18.5 degrees, and although the bridge looks level, it's actually built with a 2% grade, which means the end of the bridge that the end of our train is on is actually 6 feet higher than the opposing end at the top of our parking lot. Now, if you don't want to train fights, I do have a solution for you. I want you to look around at the floor of the car you're sitting in. There's bound to be a small rock or pebble rolling around on the floor. I want you to pick it up and start rolling it with your fingers. Really focus on that pebble. Maybe close your eyes as you roll it around with your fingers. And I guarantee you'll be feeling a little colder. Told you the jokes only went downhill. Now off to the left, you'll see a stone marker at the top of our parking lot. And I often get asked, is that a gravestone? Well, the short answer is no. The long answer is, well, kind of. You see, that marker was placed there by the Colorado Historical Society in 1949, and it commemorates the original Georgetown Railroad and High Bridge. So, in essence, it's almost a gravestone to the original GD&L. Today, our train is made up with mostly cars that can't deeply past the Yukon Railway that operates up in